Good afternoon everyone on this freezing cold day in November. We're getting into the winter now, it's getting really cold, and it's time to give the Alfa Romeo 4C a quick check over, and I'm now starting to discover a few little niggles about the car. I've had it just 4 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks. Let's just show you some little things that I think are starting to just annoy me a bit. Okay, so the first one is an observation that was sent in by emailed to me by somebody who's been watching the videos of this car, and also pointed out to me by my friend Mike Myers, who is a Italian car enthusiast.
As you know, I'm the biggest Italian fan.
Yes.
And I can't say this is a piece of
and notices these things. He's had many Italian cars, and he pointed it out to me straight away. He said, unsurprisingly, we are already seeing in the wheels here that the wheel nuts are going rusty. Now, keeping in mind that this car is virtually brand new, it's pretty bad, and it's on all 4 wheels. There we go, there's the front wheel. As you can see, this is the locking wheel nut that I put on a couple of weeks ago, and that's obviously no problem, but every single wheel nut is starting to rust. And this is absolutely fascinating, because I've got a BMW which is 6 years old, another one which is 3 years old. None of them have any issues like this. In fact, I can't remember the last car I had that had wheel nuts that rust. So there we go, that's the first one. And as I say, my friend Mike, who's an Italian car enthusiast, he's had many Italian cars, and according to him this is pretty common. So I'm going to have to get that addressed, whether or not you can get special galvanized wheel nuts, or whether it's a matter of just cleaning them up and painting them. I don't know at the moment. I'm going to have to look into that, but it really does spoil the look of the car, to be fair. Pretty disappointing. Now the next one is the windscreen washer fluid. Now the fluid has run out. Amazingly, the car was actually supplied by the dealership with an empty windscreen washer bottle, but here's the problem. On most cars you normally just open the bonnet, take the cap off the washer bottle and just fill it up. Not on the Alfa Romeo. The windscreen washer bottle is housed behind this grille down here. Now I've already unscrewed the screws. Basically the grille has to be unscrewed. There are 4 Phillips head screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to unscrew the screws first and remove this grille like so, therefore exposing the washer bottle. Now, so we take the grille off and do that first. Okay, so we now have the grille off, and in here is, I don't know whether you can see this very well, is the washer bottle. It's just here. I don't know whether you can see that. There is the washer bottle, just there. You can see it, and it's housed under here. There we go. So we take the cap off. From what's really unusual is if you pull the cap out, look, you get this like an umbilical cord that comes out. Look at this. And the idea of this apparently is you have to look at it and see how far up the cord, or how far up that little tube the washer fluid is, and that gives you an idea of how full it is. Alfa Romeo do actually give you a little funnel for actually filling the washer bottle up. This is it, look. So this is the little funnel that you get with it, but to be honest with you, that is hardly going to be making the job easy, trying to use a little funnel like that. I can't see that doing a lot of good, hence what I'm going to do is use a proper full-sized funnel. You have to be pretty careful here, but I'm going to use a proper proper funnel. The problem is, it really is difficult to see how much fluid is actually in there. I know you're supposed to use this little pipe inside, but it doesn't really help very much. So we're just going to have to guess it. I think that should be enough, to be honest, for the very little that I do with it. There we go. So we put a couple of litres in there. We're going to put that cap back on again. Yeah, it's probably got that about right, I think. Just trying to get this cap to click on. There it goes. Okay, the cap's back on. Right, so we've got the cap on. Now I've got to put the grill back on and align all 4 screws and get it back on. There's some little hooks just here where these hooks, I don't know whether you're getting those, but those have to obviously hook on the inside of the bottom of the sill there. So we've got to hook that just goes in there. One in there, one in there. And now I have to pop it back in again. Okay, line them up like so. Okay, now we need a Phillips head screwdriver, and we've got to put each one back in, make sure it bites. Don't have to turn them very much actually, there's only just a couple of turns. And there we are. So we've now topped up the washer fluid, put the grill back on again. I can see now why the dealer probably didn't do it. Got the washer bottle topped up, so let's just see if it's worked. Make sure we're going to shut the door because we get some spray coming in, hopefully. Oh, look at that. There you go. That's much better. Good. Good, so that's another job done. And now while I'm in here, I'm going to show you the last little niggle that I have with this car, and it's basically just under the dashboard. And as you can see, I don't know whether you can see this here, this area here. I'm probably being a bit fussy, to be honest. A lot of people probably say I'm being a bit too fussy. But what you have is some cabling running under this leather covering. But the problem is, when you look at it, look, it sticks up on this side and it's down on this side. Well, you can see that, but it's sort of, so it goes up in like a mound and then comes back down again. And it's probably me being a little bit fussy, but it would have been nicer if they could have just maybe put a cover over there that was just all in line, or maybe bolstered that out to make it look even. But it's really odd that you know, you can't push this down and there's like this funny bit of leather that's covering up the, obviously the cabling that's supplying the display, but it comes up at a really odd angle. Well, I hope you found this slightly informative. It's now time to take the car for a run, as I try to every week. Give it a run round the block, keep the oil going round it and keep everything working. You come in then. Come on, you might as well join me. Let's take her for a run. another little niggle that I've just discovered. The amount of miles left before refuel can be very deceiving. When I first started the car up just now, it said I had 55 miles, 58 miles, something like that before refuel. Now it's saying I haven't got any miles left, but I've only gone 2 miles. So we're going to take it and get some fuel put in pretty quickly. I guess you can forgive it a little bit though, because the car is stationary most of the time. So it's very hard for it, I guess, for the computer to work out what the average fuel consumption is.